what a perfect way to end the spring. Very spirited scrimmage. As you can see, the kids were, very competitive today. That's the way they wanted the spring game to be, and I thought it was just perfect. Couldn't have ended any better. Nobody got hurt seriously. Got ankle, hamstring, stuff like that, but nothing that would keep anybody out if we had a game next week or anything like that. But I think just great spring. It's obviously, we all know that we got a lot of new faces out there, and I think the kids have had, fantastic attitudes all spring. They've worked very, very hard. We did not have a bad day of the 15 practices. Now Thursday they were jawing back and forth, and a little bit too much of that, but they had worked and earned the right to have a day like that. I think you saw a lot of positives today. And, fans got to see a little bit of what we've seen. I hate that the weather conditions weren't to where we had a bigger crowd there, but I think that the guys the people that were here were able to see a very spirited scrimmage. So, questions?
How did you impress with Alex?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, but he's had that kind of spring. I think that we feel very comfortable with both quarterbacks going into the summer. But he's a kid this is his fourth year in the program. He has complete command of the offense, and I thought the thing that's most impressive to me is he sees what's coming defensively and was able to consistently get us in the right protections, consistently get us in the right play.
Coaching, big picture of sustaining success, how do you feel coming out of spring?
Well, I think that we know exactly what we have. I think that's the best way to put it. We know where we are very strong, and we know where we've got to improve between now and August. Our kids, they have enjoyed the program, getting it to where it is, and I can promise you they're determined for us not to go backwards. So they have very high expectations for us going into the season.
Coach, with the weather the way it was, the teams kind of mix and match. Obviously, you take the game seriously. How do you kind of find the balance of evaluating it, but also kind of finding it?
Well, we've had 14 practices of evaluating, good on good. And I think that, when you get in a situation like that, now you're going to look at more of how people operated individually, because you had, two of your starting offensive linemen with three backups. You had your quarterbacks with different combinations at receiver and running back and tight end, and you had your coaches split up. And so I think that it's who functioned well in that environment, and who handled the game situation the best. And I still think you can evaluate this film and take a lot to learn and grow from.
For a spring game, I haven't seen the film yet, but it was a pretty good spring game.
No doubt. I mean, I've been a part of a lot of them. Number one thing for me is nobody gets hurt, so I'm happy with that. But just the competitive, edge on the field. I mean, they were going at each other. You had some big hits. You had some big plays. You saw Josiah Hatfield do Josiah Hatfield things. You saw Javius Bond, and why we're so excited about him. You saw so many defensive guys make plays that we have been seeing all spring that maybe everybody else hadn't seen. So I think it was a great spring game.
You think you got a good look at some different game scenarios, like some late clock situations and stuff
like
that? Well,
that right there at the end.
Yeah.
That's you got to function better right there at the very end. We were trying to get the ball spiked, we couldn't get it communicated. But again, you have guys that never been in that situation before. So I think that's great film right there for everybody to learn from.
Alex spiked out about everybody on the zone read.
Oh, no doubt.
Kept it at all this spring on that play?
Yeah, he has, but he hadn't kept it and scored. I don't know how far that was, but you had a pressure and a corner trap coverage, so you had everybody coming off the edge. The receiver sealed it, and then so it's just green grass. So you probably gonna have the defensive guys getting on the purple defense about the pursuit right there, because I don't think anybody expected Alex to go 60 or whatever it was.
Obviously looking for people to step up on the offensive end, especially late the last few drives. Mason seemed to calm down and looked very in control of things, made some pretty good throws. What do you think about the way he ended today?
Well, I think that he's got a lot of positives he took from today. He's got some things that he needs to function and operate better. I think that what we've seen from him all spring is when we have our personnel out there with him, he functions very well. So, again, I think you have some growing pieces, for a lot of guys, and him in particular, but you have a lot to go off of from the whole spring that you're excited about.
Defensively, some big stops at the end, right down in the mouth of the goal line again.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Purple had their back against the wall, and they gave themselves a chance with some big plays and some big hits. So, I can't say it any more than just love the way our kids competed today. But that's what we're used to, and really like this group. So excited for them. Thanks a lot.
Coach, you talked about the receivers coming in like Ryan King and Jared Garner. They seem to make some plays. I know Ryan got a little banged up, but we're happy with
Yeah, I mean, I want to take a look at the film and see how they performed. And the big thing is, who makes contested catches, and then what do they do after the catch? Okay, I think that's a big thing that we got to evaluate because, so much of what the production was last year was who could do something with the ball after the catch and who could make those contested catches against tight coverage. And so that's really what you want to evaluate them on.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Coach.
It was fun. Like coming in, I knew it was gonna be a big run game because it was wet out there. But even when we threw the ball, we made plays on goal team. So I'm just excited.
Little steak coming?
Yeah, big steak. I'm gonna make sure everybody eat beanie and weenies that was on the purple team.
How good is it for the game to come down to really the last play and still find a way to win?
Hey man, them boys out there. I wasn't out there with the last group, but them boys out there, they gave it their all. I'm excited for this season. The way the way them boys fight, I'm excited.
Coach said that, you got the program to a certain point, and it's guys like yourself
Yes, sir.
that want to keep it there. I mean, how important is that to you?
It's big, especially with new guys coming in. Like everybody don't come from like here. Like we together. You know what I mean? A lot of people come from like different schools where the players not so tight in the locker room. So you just got to make sure that like we show them like everybody coming in that it's it's a brotherhood. We all love each other. We all here for each other.
What's your biggest takeaway from the spring as a whole as a player?
My biggest takeaway from as a team standpoint, not even a defensive standpoint, when we out there, we compete. Any live period, we compete. Like, we got dogs on both sides of the ball. And the way Purple Team, they came back and, like, gave themselves a chance, that made me excited because I know that they're not going to give up when that fall comes.
What was it like seeing Alex Flynn play?
Man, Flynn, I would tell him all week, bro, be you. Like, we know what's in Flynn. He just ain't got the right chance yet. But when his time comes, he always ready.
Tay, you got something for us on what Tesh told y'all before the game to get you fired up?
He said a little bit, I can't say it, you feel me? But in other words, be you and be juiced up.
You don't come to East Carolina, you don't play in East Carolina with a weak heart. Right? Pirates like Rob, Trump, Bynum, Williams, Crandall, Wall, Jones.
Somebody tell him up top, 6:26 on the clock. Don't sleep on
Harrison, gain of 5. Number 22, Nemo Squad. Alex Brown for the keeper, touchdown. Right team.